you sure know how to get the people going. That opening scene in Beauty in Black was just like, "Urgh." I thought it's gonna be spicy, it's gonna be sexy, it's gonna, give me a little role play, a little fantasy time. And no, you dashed my hopes with a huge dousing shot of realism. And for that, I was upset, but I was absolutely drawn in. Here's my review of Beauty in Black, a Tyler Perry Presents Netflix miniseries. My name is Carla DuPont. Having penned 8 romance novels in my own name and written over 40 books for hashtag happy clients, I think I know a thing or two about character development and plot. So we are going to discuss Beauty in Black, the character development and plot. So first, I will say, Tyler, you are really stepping it up with the background scenes, the wardrobe, hair, everything looks really good. You're filling up the rooms. It's not like, hey, we just rented this office building and put only our actors in it. You can really tell this was a well thought out and well executed series, and the budget must really be there, honey, because you are bringing it. So kudos to you for that. We are immediately thrust into the life of a young lady who, like many of us, are not happy with our station in life, but we're making strides to do better, albeit small strides, but we're trying to improve our lives. Then there's her roommate, who is being sucked into the epidemic of women who want to surgically enhance their bodies. Now, I ain't laying on nobody's table, but if that's what you feel like you need to do to feel better about yourself, to be more confident, by all means do it, but do it safely, okay? We're not talking about back alley jobs, hotel jobs. We're talking go to an accredited doctor who you have done lots of research on. You've seen his clients, you've seen their results, and you know he's gonna do quality work. But homegirl didn't do that. She didn't go that route. She's definitely getting a back alley butt job. I know here in Atlanta, there's a whole lot of body reshaping, sculpting, fat, like taking it out and putting it somewhere else. Like it's a whole lot of that going on here. But for the love of God, please find a certified doctor. The plot gets so thick and juicy. All the tangled webs we weave. I'm talking crisscrossing, intersections, merging, like at one point I was just like, oh my God. It's literally like the little diagram where you have a circle and then another circle and another circle, like, right? Little circles. So this person is a central person, and then this is their mom and sister and boyfriend and girlfriend and husband and lawyer. And like there was so much crisscrossing and intersecting, and this person talking to this person, but they don't know they're related to this. He literally related everybody who comes across the screen. They're all related. They're all intersected. And the way he did it to me came across brilliantly. In this series, he did something we don't normally see in Black shows, which is the generational wealth dynamic. So you have these super filthy rich children, right? Their parents worked so hard, they built this business, and the kids could care less. One is stuck in the business. Well, I won't say stuck. He believes he deserves it and he's gonna work for it to the best of his ability, but really we see his wife is the one moving all of the pieces. We see that very quickly, like in episode 1. Then you have the brother who is like, man, forget all of that. I'll show up for a meeting, maybe, if my mom drags me out of bed, literally, but can we just keep my allowance going? Like, I don't care what's going on over there. Let the business, and you just give me my allowance. Then there's the flip side of that, right? So as I told you, the intro is about a character we see who's trying to make her life better. She's struggling, but she knows this is not where she belongs. So there's an interesting dynamic between, well, I should say a power play between the super filthy rich and the bottom of the barrel poor. Like, these people are so poor. It's almost unbelievable how dire their straits are. Like, what is, like, how are you that, bro? Like, dang, really, you're that, bro? It's incredible. But the way the intersections crisscross, you quickly see who is at the mercy of who. Character development. right away he starts layering the trauma. And I'm saying he, because we all know Tyler Perry writes, edits, directs, and probably films all of his everything. So I'm just going to say this is my video resume. Tyler, when you're ready to add a more than qualified writer who already has a dope, sexy, spicy movie series that's in books and just waiting to hit somebody's small screen or big screen, this is me saying I'm qualified for the job. Thank you. But as I was saying, he layers the trauma right away. And it's interesting how our childhoods, our upbringings, the things we experienced mold and shape us into the adults we become. And I often have this conversation with people. I remember I was talking to one of my clients about a business deal he's doing. And I said, who hurt you? And he's like, what are you talking about? I've never been hurt. Da, 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 da. I said, no. There was a point in your life where somebody who you totally, completely trusted let you down. And it happened so early that you may not remember it, but it is affecting you. And I talked about other relationships I knew he'd had. We hung up the phone, and then he called me back later on that day, and he said, Carly, you're right. When I was 4 or 5 years old, and he told me a story and literally started crying because he could not believe how that had impacted his life over the next 45 years. So seeing the way our childhoods impact us, the decisions we make, the people we become, Tyler Perry does a great job of flashbacks. So the flashbacks tell the story, but they don't just tell it, they show it, which is a cardinal rule in writing. Show, don't tell. And that's exactly what he does. He could have easily told us about the trauma that he's layering by just having it in a conversation, but that would be so boring and mundane. The flashbacks evoke emotion, and it just puts you as the audience, as the viewer, like, oh, like you instantly empathize. Or if you've been in a situation like that, it makes you recall your own trauma, which one of the flashbacks he had made me reflect. And I was like, whoo, pause. Let me go get something to drink and come back. Let me, get myself together. Great job on the trauma. And while we're on the topic of trauma, another way he expresses trauma is talking about generational trauma. Women, Black mothers, and their daughters. There's such a community discussion that has started to happen about the way Black mothers treat their daughters and the relationships that are not there. Like, I literally have friends who their mothers are alive and healthy and they don't ever pick up the phone and talk to them. This is a real thing. Thankfully, my mother and I don't have that kind of relationship, but I was instantly I was instantly reminded of an instance where my mom had started dating this guy, and based on the way he treated me and the way he treated my brother, she cut the relationship short because she could see the writing on the wall. She saw where it was headed, which is the opposite of what the characters in Beauty and Black did. But you can tell and feel he is going for the jugular with this generational trauma bit. Kimmy, who is our bottom of the barrel Black female main character, puts herself in a situation to be unalived. And my first thought was, oh my God, what is she doing? Why would you voluntarily do that? But it's bringing in that victim mindset that your captors or the people who have control over you are able to exploit. Right? So the person who has something over her head exploits her in a way that makes her feel comfortable enough to literally throw herself in harm's way to a point where she could literally lose her life. And the shock value of it is like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But the victim mindset is something so many people possess. They may not realize they possess it, or they do realize it. In Kimmy's case, she knows that she's a victim. She knows she has a victim mindset, but in her mind and in her heart, she's powerless to make the change. She's trying to figure out, how do I come out of this? How do I move out of this? And she just, up to the end of episode 8, had not quite been able to do it. I think by episode 7, we start to see her slowly evolving in a way that's like, wait a minute, hold on. I do have some control. Let me exert a little bit of that control and try to get myself the hell up out of here. Then Mallory. She is the super filthy rich black female main character who always wears black. So she must be the beauty in black. I hate that she's so beautiful and warm and soft and glowy, but it's all a facade. Like, I don't hate her as a person. I don't hate the way he wrote her. I think it just brings to light that there are so many people who really genuinely live their lives like that. Like they have to put a mask on to go outside, to face the public, to go to work, to get on social media. But in their real lives, they are miserable, they are unfulfilled, they are unhappy. And you can see Mallory is clearly frustrated in every avenue of her life. I'm talking socially, sexually, relationally. Is that a word? I don't know. But every single aspect of her life, she is overly frustrated. And it's frustrating me to watch her like this. I just want to shake her. But she's stepping up in ways, and her masculine, as people are saying, in ways that her husband should. She sees problems and she tries to fix them. Her husband's like, oh, well, I'm going to da da da. She's like, boy, shut up. You ain't going to do nothing. All right, let me handle it. And she handles it. But I hate that for her. And I hate that for those of us who have to do that on our own. So up to this point, I'm guessing this is half of the series. And this is one of the things that frustrates me about Netflix. Like, don't breadcrumb me. Give it all to me. I want it all. Every juicy detail, every single episode. I want an entire season from the rooter to the tutor, ready for my viewing pleasure. But since I do not work at Netflix yet, I have not been employed by them yet, and I haven't received my check for my romance series about sexy firefighters yet, I have to just be resolute in the fact that part 2 will come, and I'll be here waiting on it to give you a review. But please, if you haven't, go watch Beauty in Black on Netflix. I promise you will love it. Then come back and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought.